No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
What's up, guys? BJ Rains here, and we have the My Signature Roofing team on my roof. They're putting in a new roof today. We are a client, a customer of Signature Roofing, and we're excited to tell you about this process today. MySignatureRoofing.com. Check them out. Joel, Watts, the whole crew over there, they're doing tremendous work. I've been really enjoying getting to know these guys already. They've got an NIL deal with RJ Keene, and they were here bright and early today. And again, sponsor of Bronco Nation News. Excited to have them on board. MySignatureRoofing.com. Check them out. New roof going up on the Rains house, and we'll be telling you more about Signature Roofing and the process throughout the day. But check them out, MySignatureRoofing.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by RowPaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, The Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jackson's, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bauscher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Wednesday to you here at Bronco Nation News at BroncoNationNews.com. We're in the Western Collective Studios. Make sure you check out that Orange Chaos Seltzer or the Horseshoe Golden Ale Friday night at Albertson Stadium when Boise State takes on San Diego State. Our title sponsor, of course, RowPaint.com. And it's Wednesday, so that means Brad Bedell is here, and always excited about his breakdowns and his thoughts. And excited, Brad. Whenever I wake up, excited every day of the week. But on a Wednesday, I know we're about to get some hard-hitting football analysis here, and never know what Brad's going to say. So always fun on a Wednesday. How we doing, Brad?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. As you saw in the open there, I am getting a new roof today, so it is a little loud in the background. So I guess the Western Collective Studios today may have a little background noise, but we have a NIL deal with RJ Keene and a marketing deal, and we purchased a roof from Signature Roofing. So if you hear any loud banging in the background, that's what's going on. But I've been very impressed so far. Check out, and you joked before the show started, but yeah, bought a brand new house and had to buy a brand new roof 2 months later. That's always fun. But the team at My Signature Roofing is making the process very easy, and they're huge fans, and they're just great guys. So we'll be telling you more about it moving forward here. This is a long-term deal with My Signature Roofing. They're sponsoring the voicemails and some other things. But again, check out mysignatureroofing.com if you're in the need for a new roof. And, I didn't know how the process worked, Brad, but they've got about 10 people here, and they said they think they might be able to get it done in one day. So pretty crazy how quickly they're moving on this. But, mysignatureroofing.com. And, again, locally owned company, been around 20 years. And shout out to Watts and Joel and the whole crew there. They're doing a tremendous job. It's been fun to get to know them, and we got some cool stuff planned for the future with Signature Roofing. But we are here with you, Brad Bedell, to talk about Ashton Jeanty's game against UNLV. Teams trying to slow him down. I guess slow him down is a relative term. And then kind of spin this thing ahead to the San Diego State game on Friday night. But before we dive into Ashton Jeanty, just generally big picture, 29-24 win over UNLV. They were down early, came back, took the lead before half, got down going into the fourth quarter, came back with what Spencer Danielson called a championship quarter to win the game there in the fourth quarter. Like I said, we'll get into some of the particulars, but just your opening thoughts, whichever way you want to take it, on the win against UNLV.
Sure. I think the number one thing is this is the type of game that you really want to see them go through. Adversity, right? Had to come from down. It was a true team win. I think you held the returner. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the quarterback stepped up, made some huge throws, to be quite honest with you. And we'll get into Jeanty in a little bit. But I will say this. It was a lower scoring game than I thought. But I said if Jeanty did not go off, it was going to be a close game. And then defensively, they had to make some second half adjustments when especially the explosive run in the first drive off a triple option. That's a tough offense. The multiple formations. I thought that the coaching staff did a really good job just burning the chalkboard on the sideline just to make adjustments to the multiple formations they were giving. And when you go through a win like this, it makes the team better. They haven't had a whole lot of adversity up to this season, and when you get to a game like this, down in the fourth, they huddle in the start of the fourth, and here you go, this championship quarter. And if you want to win, and you want to ultimately go where they want to go, you better win this quarter, or it's all gone, right? The playoffs gone. You still have the possible the conference title and all that stuff, but they put it together and they won a great game. And you want to talk about putting an offense on your back, a team on your back as an offense is look at the last drive, the first downs to put the game away. And so I think that's when I'm talking about an overall team win. And you need that as a building block, because now if it happens again, you can always go back and go, hey guys, we've been through this. We went through this at UNLV. We went through this adversity. Now let's get together, get the adjustments done, go win the football game. Because right now, style points, I get it. They're great. Win. Just win. And then the rest will take care of itself. And
I mean, is there anything better than an offense than you get the ball with 8 minutes and 7 seconds left and you don't give it up the rest of the game? I mean, you talk about finishing off the game with a victory formation and a kneel down is always the goal. But with 8 minutes and 7 seconds left and you're only up by 5 minutes, like you said, you get that ball and you don't give it up. I mean, I know UNLV only had one timeout and they had kind of screwed themselves earlier in the half, having to call a couple timeouts early, which really did hurt. You did have the 2 minute, timeout to work around now, and they had one timeout, but 8:07 left. You're only up 5. I mean, Dirk Cutter was saying our goal is to get points there, not stall out the clock, but to be able to hold on to the ball and not give it back. I mean, you want to talk about a championship quarter. That's a championship drive, I guess, even if doesn't result in points, to not give that ball back to UNLV.
Oh, it's huge. And not only mention is you just didn't hand the ball off 19 times. I mean, the quarterback had to step up, make some throws. And for the Boise faithful out there, you want some good comedy? Go to Twitter at halftime and just listen to the people crying and whining. Now Dirk Cutter didn't know what he was doing, run the ball up the middle. Our quarterback missed 2 throws, bench it. And then all of a sudden, and I said it, I went up there, was like, this tweet didn't age very well. Is then all of a sudden you come out in the second half, and that 8-minute drive, you put together the throws, the runs, the conversions on third down, and you kneel the game. And that's something that's a drive right there that they'll look back on and probably say that was really big in this season.
Yeah, no doubt that whole fourth quarter. I mean, again, being there in the stadium, they're going to the fourth quarter, and Boise State had the ball, but UNLV had the lead. They had the momentum. They turned the lights off in the building. UNLV's dancing. They're all waving towels, going crazy. The crowd's going crazy. Like UNLV, man, you're sitting there going like, wow, man, this is 15 minutes away from really derailing here if they don't somehow find a way to win this game. And yeah, you talk about what this means for the season, for everything else. Like, it was a massive victory to come back and pull it off the way they did. I also thought the first half was huge. Late in the first half, Boise State scores. Andrew Simpson, we've talked about it, the lack of turnovers, gets the huge interception. And then on fourth down, Boise State elects to go for it. And we'll get into the fourth downs here in a second because they're on a ridiculous run here of fourth down conversions. But they go for it on fourth down and they score again. So we talk about the middle 8 or whatever. It was the middle 2. They score 14-0 advantage, touchdown, interception, touchdown in the last, minute 50 of the half to turn a 10-6 deficit into a 20-10 lead at the half.
No doubt. And let's think about this too. If you're at UNLV up to that game, you're going to that game, I would say their coaching staff is saying, hey, let's get Boise State in the fourth quarter. If we're up or close in the fourth quarter, we'll win this game. They haven't been tested. They haven't gone through adversity. They haven't had that situation. Well, guess what? If you're up there, you better prove it. And they got them to the fourth quarter. And that's why probably they were going crazy saying, hey, we got them. We're in the fourth quarter. Coach said that if we get them in the fourth quarter, we can win this game. And then they got them in the fourth quarter. And that's the difference between the two programs right now. Boise State wins in the fourth, wins the championship quarter. UNLV can't put a game away. And so the finishing component of a game, a close game, is vital. And Boise State proved that, hey, you could take us into the fourth quarter. We're still going to beat your butt.
Yeah, there was a lot of impressive parts about that one. And we talked, before the show, we were trying to find some clips of Ashton Jeanty. Due to copyright rules and regulations, we're not supposed to show the TV copy, so we're kind of at the mercy of people posting all 22 clips to Twitter and things, or photo, or other copy or shots from the stands or whatever. We couldn't really find much yet to this point on this game, so it's going to make it a little tougher for this breakdown. But I did want to get into Ashton Jeanty because, again, a bad game for Ashton Jeanty is 128 yards and the game-winning touchdown on fourth down. I thought he was in on third down. That's another topic, I guess. But and people are saying that was one of his impressive runs, a 5-yard run on third down to get down to the 1-yard line or whatever it was, and then he pushes it in on fourth down. We'll get into some of the specifics, but overall, the last two games, Jeanty has needed 31 carries against Hawaii, 33 carries against UNLV. The long, just crazy runs are not happening the last two games like they have. Before we get into some of the reasons why, just overall 128 yards on 33 carries, 1 touchdown, got banged up a little bit, stayed in there, pushed through. What did you think of Ashton Jeanty against UNLV?
One, it just proves how tough he is. He's a tough kid. Getting the amount of carries right now is it's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of hits. But let's also go to this. It also shows how much of a team player he is. I mean, they're not the thickest at running back right now. They're a little light, going into that game. I don't know what going into the next game. I don't get into injuries, but him and Tyler Crow. I forgot how many carries Tyler Crow had, and there are a few of them in the first. A lot of those carries a little late. But when he's banged up and he knows that this team needs me, I can't do one of these. I can't. I'm going to have to get the hard 4. I'm going to have to get the hard 2 for a first down. And it just shows the character that we knew he had. But now everybody in the country is now talking about, like, okay, now he's carrying the ball 31 times because they need that to win. Where if the stable was full, I don't think he gets 31 carries, to be quite honest with you. I think he's sitting at 25. And I think as you wear down, and we'll get into more of his runs here in a little bit, but as you wear down and you get banged up in a game, it's just he's tough. He's tough. And Boise State needs that right now. And he understands that. And, for everybody that wanted the 31 carries, it's a lot of carries for a tailback. That is a lot of carries. And so he's putting the team on their back, and he understands it. And even getting him in the game is the threat of play action. Look at the last drive, right? He's in the game, throw play action. Just the threat of him lined up back there, standing tall like the Statue of Liberty, and just play action, flat. The tight end goes off. Just the threat of him in the game, that's a different component. And no offense to Tyler Crow, I love Tyler Crow, but they're not going to really think, okay, he's going to break the big one on us. Where Jeanty's like, this game could turn at any moment.
And I kept waiting for that. I was expecting in the second half him to have, I kept saying it at halftime. I was like, yeah, we just haven't seen that one game-changing run from him in this game. And he was really close. He had 3, 4, maybe even 5 where I rewatched the game, 2 nights ago, and if the last guy doesn't just barely grab his shoestrings or barely get him, he is gone. And there was one where he just literally tripped over the 35-yard line and fell himself that Spencer Danielson said would have been a 60-yard touchdown run. So he was very close. He just didn't quite get that last tackle broken, or just didn't avoid the last guy. And but again, 3.9 I think was the average yards per carry. So again, we're trying to find ways that didn't go quite as good as the other games, but again, it's still most running backs in America would take 128 yards in the game-winning touchdown. So it's all relative, I guess, here. But what did you see in terms of what UNLV and did to really try to slow him down? We keep talking about more and more teams just selling out for the run and loading the box and Maddox Madsen. We can get to Maddox Madsen later in the show, because I thought, even though the completion percentage or some of those stats don't look, aren't super impressive, I thought he had one of his best games at Boise State with some of the things and the toughness that he did to help them win this game. And that's obviously going to be a huge important thing as the passing game moving forward, as they continue to try and slow the run. But if you're San Diego State's defensive coaches and you're watching that tape of the UNLV game saying, okay, we would gladly like to hold them to 128 yards on 33 carries and 1 touchdown, what did they do? What did you see from UNLV's defense?
Well, I think number one is we've watched this. I mean, when the copyright thing and all that, and we broke down other games, we saw the extra guy in the box. That shouldn't surprise anybody. I think the biggest difference is to be quite honest with you, Jeanty didn't win the one-on-ones as much, and you got to give UNLV credit. Barry Odom's a very good defensive coach. He was very good at Missouri. He was good at Arkansas. They had a phenomenal tackling plan, and they tackled him one-on-one. That number 7, the linebacker, and his name forgets me, he needs a lot of credit. He's a really good he's a really good football player. But it's the shoestring tackles. We're used to seeing him get out of those. And when you get out of those, you got 50-yard runs. He just didn't get out of them. They did a great job tackling them. So now I think if you're San Diego State, you look back and go, okay, what was their tackling plan? How did they vice him? Right? And things like that. And you're showing the kids now, it's like, hey, listen, hey, Superman back here can be tackled one-on-one. You just got to challenge him. And UNLV did a great job. They challenged him, and he just didn't have the Washington State. And with all due respect to Washington State, he got out of those tackles. UNLV, he just didn't get out of the tackles, and we're used to seeing that. And now everybody's like, oh, it wasn't his best game, because he didn't win as many one-on-ones to get explosive runs. But at 128 and at almost 4 yards a carry, it's hard going to be game in and game out to rush for 220, 230. But he set a standard.
And if he breaks, all it takes is one of these runs we're talking about. He breaks 1 60-yard run. He's at 190 and 2 touchdowns or whatever. And you're thinking, yep, another. I mean, it's crazy to say it, but it's just one of those big runs, and his numbers look a lot different.
There's no doubt. And that's when, and I don't want to change the topic here, but that's why people hammer running backs and Heismans, is because you go for 128 and they're like, oh, there goes his Heisman chances. That's not true. It's not true at all. The problem is with a quarterback is they can go out and throw for 400 and 2 TDs, and all of a sudden they're the Heisman Look at the kid at Colorado. He went off for whoever, Cincinnati, whatever. But now all of a sudden, oh, he should win the Heisman. No, he should not win the Heisman. But it's that type of thing with running backs is like, oh, he only went for 128. Well, okay, guys, it's also a difference when you got a loaded box and it's a one-on-one situation. It's a one-on-one situation. And UNLV, to their credit, they won a lot of one-on-ones and tackle them in the box, and they put together a good plan. Give them credit, but he breaks a couple. He rushes. He doesn't trip on the 35. There's 50. He doesn't get shoestrung on the left hash going to the the Boise State sideline. That's another 60. Okay, so we're used to him, like I said, breaking the one-on-ones. It just didn't happen as much versus UNLV.
And on the post-game show, John Mallory said that he thought this actually helped, increased his Heisman chances to show what he could do and still get 128 yards when this is happening and still push through the arm injury. It looked like a hyperextended elbow maybe or something, and to push through and then, to get that touchdown on 4th down and goal. Like he was under the mindset of, if you actually watch this whole game, this should have done nothing to hurt him, but yet you see all the odds change, and he's back down to 4th now in terms of the Heisman odds. You mentioned it there and touched on it, but it does seem like, unfortunately, not just the running back part, but the group of 5 part that comes into play here. People are just looking for that one game or that one moment where they can just go, yep, that was it. He was a fun story. See ya. Right. What do you kind of touched on it, but just his Heisman chances, I guess, from that game and what they should be versus what the odds and things are now.
Well, I think I think he still deserves to be in the top 3. Is he 1? I don't know. In my opinion, he's the best running back in college football. The problem with the Heisman is Boise State wouldn't be where they're at without him, period. Right? Where Colorado with Travis Hunter, they're going to be perfectly fine. Travis Hunter, I think, athletically is the best overall athlete that college football has seen in a very long time. Okay. I haven't seen enough of Cam Ward, but he's got him in the top whatever. But they've won a lot of close games. And I just truly believe that if you're looking at the Heisman, it's not only the best player, it's, in my opinion, is would this team do anything without that player? That's why most quarterbacks win, guys. I mean, if you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to win football games. So that's why the trophy goes to the quarterback. But could you imagine if Boise State didn't have Jeanty? What would the season look like? We don't know. You would think they'd be in the same spot, but I don't know about that.
Yeah. I think Gabriel's going to be his hardest competition when it's all said and done. And because he's Oregon, he's got this been in other schools and this kind of aura about him, and Oregon's number 1 undefeated. He's the quarterback of that team. Like, I think, Cam Ward, I think might be second. I forget right now in the odds, but when it's all said and done, I personally feel like his toughest competition to win this is going to be Gabriel.
I agree. But I do think this right now, he's a Heisman finalist and if he continues to have games, which I would agree with. We saw another dimension of Jeanty that we had not seen. We saw, they corralled him. And this is the issue. I'll talk about it again. Later kickoff, things like that. So now the highlights aren't Jeanty running for 60 every time. Now it's like San Diego State holds Jeanty for 128. Well, just like this, if you watch the game, it made him another complete back. I think this tape yesterday or versus UNLV helped him in the NFL than anything. Now you're going to see, okay, what's this kid going to do? Is he still going to get to 100 yards when they've got the loaded box and the good tackling plan and they're going to hand him the carries? Is he durable enough? Okay, well, he banged up his elbow. There was a big fumble issue after that. That's a huge thing. And that elbow, when you're squeezing that ball, that elbow's got to be bothering, right? So that helped him, I think, National Football League. Heisman in this polling and the betting odds is like, do we know, is that coming from the true voters? Because the true voters are past winners in that committee. And I'll tell you what, they see a real football player when they see him. And let's not let the fans, it's like that thing online. It's like, okay, whose fan base is better? That's what that comes down to. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it, Colorado's going to have Travis 158%. Somebody from Boise State tweets out, and they do it, and I forgot who it is, like, oh, daily reminder, vote for Ashton Jeanty for the Heisman. Okay, great. I appreciate that. That's awesome. But the true voters, and there's a fan component, I know that. But
there's a media component, former winners, yeah.
Right. Former winners. The former winners, they know ball. And all I know is this: a lot of the former players are saying Jeanty is the best player in college football.
BSU Bill says if Jeanty goes off next week or goes off Friday and ends up healthy, and there's a small realistic chance big noon kickoff comes in next week. I would say BSU Bill, that's not a small chance. I've looked at the games, I've looked at the options. I don't have a ton of inside info on this, but if Ashton Jeanty plays well on Friday and is healthy coming out of that game, I think there is a very real, pretty good chance big noon kickoff could be coming for the game against Nevada. And again, it's not necessarily it's Nevada, Boise State. It's more just showcasing Ashton Jeanty. It's not a lot of other options for Fox that week with some of the contracts with the Big Ten and the NBC and some of the other things going on. Sometimes it's not necessarily just, oh, how is that the best game of the weekend? Well, it's not. But with what Fox has to work with and the time slots that are left, I've done a little research on that. And again, I'm not, trying to act like I have this inside info that I'm keeping quiet, but I think it is a very real chance that big noon kickoff, the show with Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush and all them could be out here at 8 a.m. I think the Chris Peterson element to that could play into this. Maybe Coach Pete comes out here and then you could see a 10 a.m. start time on the Blue against Nevada. I think that is a real possibility. But the two things that has to happen, three. Boise State has to win against San Diego State. Ashton Jeanty needs to have another solid, I don't want to say amazing go-off game, but he needs to have a good game and kind of still be in the buzz here for the Heisman. He can't rush for 50 yards in this game, and then he needs to be healthy. If he comes out of this game healthy with a nice game and Boise State wins, I think there is a real chance they could have big noon kickoff, which would be a really cool deal for them moving forward. So we'll keep a track of that. But Boise says, Brad, you can see teams starting to focus on wrapping him up around the ankles. Can't tackle Jeanty high. Are you seeing teams kind of the last 2 weeks attack him a little differently?
Take his motors out. His motors are his feet or his legs. He's very strong. So if you tackle him low, okay, get the motor started, and then bring everybody with you. Here comes the cavalry, right? So if you could stop his motors, stop his legs from churning, you're going to slow him down. That's a very good observation.
All right, that's 25 minutes on Jeanty. We got about 20 minutes left, and I want to focus on some other topics related to this team, Brad. But I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors, Western Collective, the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer. Pick them up Friday at Albertson Stadium. You can also find them at local retailers. And again, Garden City, the brewery, check them out. They got great tavern-style pizza, all kinds of great food and drink options. And again, a portion of the proceeds from the Golden Ale and the Orange Chaos Seltzer go back into the Horseshoe Collective to support the student athletes at Boise State. So make sure you check out Western Collective. Our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Andy Rowe comes on Mondays with Prater Night, does a great job, and just thankful that since the day one of Bronco Nation News, we've had Andy Rowe and rowpaint.com on board as our title sponsor. So all your painting needs, again, roepaint.com, whether it's the concrete coatings, the interior, exterior, residential painting, all your painting needs, make sure you check out our title sponsor at rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile eBranch online banking on your smartphone right there in the app. The Rains family, thought we were happy with our previous banker. Didn't realize what we were missing out on with ICCU. So you're probably feeling the same way. I'm good. Not worth the hassle of changing banks. Nope. Make the switch to ICCU. Just a lot of the small stuff, the personal attention you get walking into a branch pretty much on every corner and not having to wait in line for 20 minutes. They're all fully staffed. Just check them out. ICCU.com, Idaho Central Credit Union. Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. My condolences, Brad, to Matt and his family on the passing of his mother. Matt's mother passed away recently, and Friday morning will be the funeral there. You can reach out and find more information on Matt's social media team. I know it's been a tough week for the Bauscher family, so just wanted to give my public condolences to Matt on the passing of his on his mother and Rich and the whole family, Bauscher family there that we've gotten to know the last decade since we've moved to Boise here. So tough to hear that, and wanted to make sure I said that. Condolences to Matt and his family there, and I believe the services will be on Friday. You can find more information on social media and things, and reach out there in Caldwell. So Matt, we're thinking about you, man, and hope that everything goes okay this week. Ridley's Family Markets, shop ridleys.com. Check them out as well. 13 locations in the state of Idaho, surrounding states as well. Shop Ridley's.com. Ridley's Family Markets. Again, you go in, just that hometown grocery store feel, friendly staff, great environment. And again, if you download their Skip app, you can get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. So whether it's Magic Valley, Treasure Valley, McCall, surrounding areas, surrounding states, they got you covered. Check out our friends at Ridley's Family Markets. So weather's starting to cool down. Perfect time to get a spa for the back patio. Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game has you covered. All the various options and things. Again, Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. And again, maybe it's not a spa you're looking for. Maybe it's a sauna. My wife's on me about trying to get a sauna. I know the pool tables and things for the game room as well. They got you covered. Again, view their full inventory and check them out at thespateam.com. And Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out as well. LithiaFordBoise.com. All their inventory is available at LithiaFordBoise.com, but it's the perfect time to buy that new car or truck. And when you do, please make sure you do it from Lithia Ford of Boise. They have 6 NIL deals with student athletes at Boise State. They're taking care of a lot of the coaches, a lot of the athletic department staff. I know, Brad, you have worked with Jim Sturk in the past, know him very well. We were out there for a show last week or a couple weeks ago. So, again, you got a lot of options in town, obviously, to buy a car and truck, but hopefully you'll consider an F-150 or one of their new electric vehicles there at Lithia Ford of Boise. All right, I want to get into the defense in a minute and the crazy sack rate, but I want to talk fourth downs. I'm writing about this today, Brad Bedell. The numbers on fourth down for Boise State, offensively and frankly defensively as well, have been very, very impressive this year, and even going back into previous years under Spencer Danielson here last year with what they're doing on fourth down. I'll get into the numbers here in a second, but just generally as a coach, as a player, the swing on fourth down, whether you convert it as an offense or whether you stop them as a defense, what kind of momentum does a fourth down play have in a football game?
Huge, especially where you're doing it on the spot of the field, especially around the minus 40 to the 50 logo range, because now if you don't get it, you're just opening yourself for a shot play coming off, and because you're going to try to take advantage of that momentum as soon as they can. And especially within the logo, they call it that shot area. And then if you do get it, and it's even more demoralizing when you get it and you convert that fourth down and that drive ends in a touchdown. Because now you had the opportunity to swing the momentum of a football game, and now you just lost all momentum. The fans are pissed. Everybody's like, oh, my God, we can't stop anybody. And then you get better scores. Now, the other thing is I'd like to see how many it's rushing and passing, but it's also confidence. They believe in their fourth down plays. The players believe in their fourth down plays. The players believe we can get it. And so believing is half the matter. It's not like, I want to go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Don't take us off this field right now. And so once you build that confidence, it's like P and 10. It's like first down. Just go, yeah, okay, we're just going to convert and go score. And that's the confidence you need to win championships.
And I think Dirk Cutter said yesterday, fourth and short now is kind of like the old third and short. You just kind of know you're going, like it's just not the same in terms of the analytics and how many more times you're seeing people go for it. Boise State actually has, and Maddox Madsen, I think, has an almost perfect passer rating on fourth down. And I don't know if that's just teams, expecting Jeanty to get it, and Madsen's ended up doing some stuff, but they've actually done a pretty nice job of mixing it up this year. You would think, Jeanty must have 10 of those 11 things. No, they've done a pretty good job. Boise State, if you want to know some of the numbers here, folks, 9 for 11 on fourth down this year, but they started against Georgia Southern, I believe, not getting their first 2. So I believe Boise State is 9 for 9 since the first game of the season. And you go back even further, I know Mike Prater had a good stat about it. I'm writing about it today, as I said, but Boise State, 18 of their last 22 converting on fourth down, going back to last season, 18 of 22. Wow. Now, again, are we talking 4th and 1 or 4th and 5? All those situations. Excuse me. Wow. All those situations matter. I couldn't get to the mute button fast enough. All those situations matter. I get it. It's kind of like third down conversions too. It's like, hey, third down, is it, are you, great, you're 3 for 15 on third down. Well, are you in 3rd and 1 or are you in 3rd and 8 every time? So I know that the situation matters, where you are on the field matters, all that stuff matters. But to be 18 of your last 22 converting on fourth down, to have 9 in a row now converted on fourth down. And again, in that UNLV game, they had a couple crucial ones right there before half, finding Matt Lauder a couple times. the one to seal the game where it's 4th and 1. If Maddox Madsen doesn't, push the pile forward and get that first down, you're turning the ball back over to UNLV, only up 5 with a minute left in the game or whatever. I mean, it's 18-22, 9 for their last 9. The offense, the 4th downs, they've been doing really, really good job on them lately.
And it's also is how well is your defense playing, right? If they can't stop anybody, you got to go for it. You're almost trying to steal a possession, right? Keep a drive going, because it's like, hey, we better go for this. Our defense is not stopping anybody, or they're like, yeah, you can go for it whenever you want because our defense is playing really well, and we're just going to stop them anyway. So you got to play in that too. And you always know, like, you can watch a game on TV or in the stands and go, oh, it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and they handed the ball off for 2. It's like, well, they're going for it on 4th down. So that's already talked about. Spencer's in the ear going, hey, you're going to have 4. You have 4 downs here. You have 4 downs here, right? And so that is offensive coordinator to head coach communication and getting a feel of how our defense is playing to say, hey, we got to punt this. We want to play long ball, right? We want to play possession football right now.
As a coaching staff, though, as the offense you mentioned, but I mean, just knowing that confidence that, like, when it is 3rd and 6, whatever, where you're just saying, hey, all we got to do is get this short and we're probably going for it. Like, to look over and see, the coach is telling you to stay out there on the field. Like, what does that do for the confidence of an offense to have a coaching staff that's going to push it and go for it a lot on 4th down?
It's huge. It's the every player just wants their coaches to believe in them. And it's just a vote of confidence saying, hey, guys, you're going to get this, and we're not even worried about it, so just stay on the field. Now, it's also talked about through the week, right? Usually later in the week when you're having that staff meeting, it's head coaches are saying, okay, I'm going to be a little aggressive here within these yard lines. And defense, be ready. We're going to be going for it on 4th down if we hit the 50 to the plus 40, right? And so, you talk about those things, so nothing should be a shock. And then you go into that meeting and go, hey, guys, we had our staff meeting. Hey, we need to be alert. We got a lot of confidence in you guys. When we hit that 50 and we're hitting in plus territory, be alert, stay on the field and go for it on 4th down. Now, if we go for it, it's on us. We got to get it. And so as you're talking about that, you're starting that confidence building in the week. And then it's not a shock to anybody. It's, Shenander's not saying, what do you mean you're going for it on 4th down? No. This is what we're doing. We talked about it. Here's the plan. So you better get your shot play or coverage match to shot play if you don't get it. And if you get it, enjoy some more Gatorade, and we'll see you when we just score 7 points.
Well, and again, part of that is the confidence you have to have in your defense too, depending on the situation you put them in. So it's that you're actually giving confidence to your whole team. The offense that you think you can score, and the defense that if we don't score, I know you're going to be able to hold them. So that is probably a team morale, momentum thing there, as you said. But let's talk about Maddox Madsen for a second, because you look at some of the stats. He's kind of a polarizing figure, man. I think most people are coming around, but there's some people still that just that first incomplete pass, you say, oh, man, yeah, they scored 29, but they would have scored 49 with Malachi. And there's just some people that can't have their opinions change, and that's fine. We're not going to worry too much about them. But you look at the Mountain West stats here, and, again, it's not always super pretty with Maddox Madsen. He's fifth in the conference in passing yards per game. He is, I think, tied for second in terms of touchdown passes. His completion percentage, he is 6th, 62.2. He is 6th in the Mountain West Conference in terms of completion percentage. But again, only 2 interceptions on the season. I think he's only taken 1 or 2 sacks on the season. Again, is he the 6'5", 5-star type quarterback? Does he walk out there and look like the total, prototypical NFL type, whatever Heisman quarterback? No, probably not. And again, is it always pretty? No, but the dude wins games, and he is keeping this team ahead of the chains, and he's avoiding the big mistakes and some of the big sacks and big game-changing, interceptions and things that change a game. I mean, look at the UNLV quarterback. That interception he threw to Andrew Simpson changed the game with 2 minutes left in the first half. You're just not seeing that. And I know some people say, oh, he gets lucky. He should have had 3 picks in that game. It's hitting off their hands, like whatever. But you know what? They're not happening. And we're 7 games into the season now. He's got 2 interceptions on the year. At some point, he is who he is. Again, that was a big storyline in fall camp. Who's going to win the quarterback battle? It's been a storyline all year, but just where are you with Maddox Madsen right now as Boise State starting quarterback and the quarterback play on this team?
Gamer. He's a gamer. I mean, It's not flashy, but it's effective. And I think that's and if I'm not the run game helps him out a lot. It helps any quarterback. A run game is a quarterback's best friend. And so I think he's developed some good rapport with the tight ends. So they're very, I mean, you're going back to tight end numbers that Shue had back in the day. Jed Poutsier had back in the day. Bates had back in the day. And so I think that the Lauder's really been effective. Play action's been very good to him off the run game. But everybody want to talk about how great UNLV is on interceptions. Did they have any interceptions, BJ?
No,
they did not. Okay, so and then I'm literally I'm not gonna. Why are we complaining about a quarterback and saying that the other guy's better when the other guy hasn't played a whole lot?
I think we're for the most part past that. For the most part, the realistic fans here, I think, are past that.
But the kid throws one bad ball. It's like, oh, get him out. No, quarterback's going to have incomplete passes. It's the way it is. Did he overthrow a few things? Yes. I think he throws the ball a little high at times, causing some tip balls. Those, to the old saying, tip balls or pick balls. They just haven't been around the ball. I mean, it's just, and so I think it's not flashy. It's not. But I will take a quarterback that can produce when the time is needed, rather than a pretty kid that can throw bombs and all of a sudden now he's going to have explosive plays. Not going to happen. That's okay. Explosive plays are going to come off of yards after catch. I'm okay with that. As long as you're creating 10, 12 to 14 plays in the passing game, you'd like about 8 of them a game. But at the end of the day, you're judged on winning. Because we wouldn't be having this conversation if they were 5-5, right? And he was playing unbelievably well, and they're 5-5. Well, he's a good quarterback, but he can't win. So there has to be. I mean, do you want a winner, or do you want a guy who's going to throw for 400 yards a game and throw 3 picks and not win? That's your choice. You can make that decision personally. I know what I would do.
Hey, TacoBellWorks.com. Check them out. You're looking for a meal for the family. Taco Bell, perfect spot. I've been liking that the Cantina Bowls now that I'm back trying to lose a couple pounds here on the keto options, and they got all kinds of different options. And it's funny though, just the basic cheesy roll-ups are my kids' favorite thing, and they're like $1. So they got the slushies. Check them out. Taco Bell, great food option in town. And again, they're hiring. So if you're looking for a new job, great promotional opportunities, free food while you work, half your wages the next day after your shift. Highly recommend checking out the Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. And again, more information online, TacoBellWorks.com. Transportation compliance service. Speaking of jobs, how about the trucking industry? They're based in the Treasure Valley. They help folks all over the world. And again, all the permits, DOT, overweight, everything you need, they can help you get going. You can get out there towing that load in no time. So check them out, transcompservice.com. I am going today, Brad Bedell, to the Blue and Orange store. I am buying a Boise State football helmet because one of my kids wanted to be Ashton Jeanty for Halloween, but we're going to have, I don't know if I should announce this or not, but we have one of my kids is Ashton Jeanty. The other kid is going to be the Heisman Trophy. And so we've got a cool little thing going on with the kids. We'll see if that can go viral, nice. I guess. But we'll be buying a Boise State football helmet today from the Blue and Orange store. All of your and nobody steal my ideas, by the way. Nobody else can be the Heisman Trophy. My kid called it. But the blueandorange.store.com. Check them out. Looking forward to going in there and seeing Travis and company. But all your Boise State gear, all your Heisman apparel, everything you need, the Blue and Orange store. I know there's a lot of options in town to go get your gear. You need to make your choice for the best selection, the best prices, the Blue and Orange store and the blueandorange.store.com. Hopefully on Monday you can get another Ahmed Hassanin sack, and that's going to be our final quick topic here is going to be the defense and the sacks, Brad Bedell. But 91 cents gets you a sack. Gets you a coffee or a fountain drink when Ahmed Hassanin gets a sack at Jackson's. Hope you enjoyed last night. By the way, Riley and Rid, speaking of Jackson's, great show last night. Brock Forsey and others. Go back and watch it on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. But shout out Brock Forsey and the guys that stopped by with Riley and Rid last night at the James. But again, Jackson's, the sponsor of Riley and Rid, and we appreciate Jackson's. Again, 25 cents from every hot dog sold goes to support the Horseshoe Collective at Boise State. Speaking of food, how about Lean Feast? Healthy eating options, 10,000 plus combinations, steak, shrimp, fish, chicken, turkey, you name it, they can do it for you. They deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley. And again, it's good in your refrigerator for 5 days. So you make your order on Monday, they deliver it, and then it's good for 5 days, and it's just 2 minutes in the microwave, and you're eating any kind of dietary options, steak, shrimp, whatever, like I said. So it's fully customizable. You choose the sizes, the weights, all that stuff. And again, leanfeastmeridian.com. Check them out. leanfeastmeridian.com. And I mentioned My Signature Roofing. You're hearing the banging in the background. They are on my roof right now. MySignatureRoofing.com. Check them out. All your roofing needs, whether it's a re-roof or some repairs or just a full new roof, new construction, just you're like me, hit the 20-year limit and need a new roof. So check them out, mysignatureroofing.com. And again, they're bringing you the NIL deal with RJ Keene, and they're just a great local company doing a lot of great things in the community. We're already talking about some giveaways and things for some of the less fortunate for the holidays and things. That's very important to the folks at My Signature Roofing. So again, Signature Roofing, they're covering our community. Get more information online at mysignatureroofing.com. And I did want to make sure I throw in the plug, Brad Bedell, for 3 o'clock on Friday. The Circa crew is going to be at the James. We are really excited about this. 3 o'clock on Friday, 3 to 4:30. Derek Stevens, the owner, and I'm really hoping we can corner Derek and have him and Brad Bedell, and I may have to get this on video, hash out the percentages of splitting face guards. I would really love with the owner of the casino to let him know that you actually in his casino. He's probably saying thank you because he takes the money and he's happy that you're doing that. But
he's wrong because I got him. I got him. Tell you that I got him for
a multi-millionaire owner that makes his money on all
figures. So
I would like to know the percentages if we get a chance. Anyway,
horrible.
We need everybody to come Friday at 3 o'clock. Friday at 3 o'clock. Please come on down, and we'll see you at the James Kitchen and Bar. Free drinks. Derek Stevens is going to lay his credit card down on the table and take care of the tab for about 90 minutes on Friday. So free drinks. Come meet the Circa crew. They're going to be passing out some giveaways and items and things. It's going to be pretty cool. It's just the fact that they're coming all the way from Las Vegas and flying up here to watch the game, and they want to hang out with you guys. It's pretty cool. So let's return the favor. Let's pack the James Kitchen and Bar. I know you all have other tailgating options, other plans, but at like 2:55, if you can at least stop by the James. So when they walk in there at 3 o'clock, let's give them a standing ovation and cheer for them and have a fun 90 minutes at the James Kitchen and Bar. So if you want a free drink or two, you want to meet some casino owners, have a good time, free giveaways, come on over to the James Kitchen and Bar on Friday at 3 o'clock to see the Circa crew on Friday. All right, a quick comment on the defense here, Brad. I know your time is short, but 35 sacks already for the defense this year. Last year, to put this in perspective, all of last year, the Boise State defense had 36. So they are 1 sack away from last year's season total through 7 games. The highest total I can find in the last 10 years is 40 sacks. They're already at 35. Boise State's record books don't include single season sacks for a team. So we're trying to find it out, but they're on a record pace. They're on a historic pace. We've talked about it. Boise State's offense has 6 sacks. The defense has 35. What can you say about the defensive pressure? And again, it's coming from all levels of the defense. I mean, you have at least 10 sacks, I believe, or close to it from the secondary. I mean, you have a guy, Shea Oladipo, a nickel / safety / whatever you want to call him, that's on pace maybe for 10 sacks. You've got other guys, Alexander Tubner had a sack the other day. Rodney Robinson is getting in there. All these guys are having sacks. The D-line's eating, but the linebackers, the edge guys, and even the DBs too. What do you make of the scheme and the pressures that Eric Shenander is dialing up and this kind of attacking, pressuring defense that, yes, is resulting maybe in a couple big passing plays here and there, but is resulting in the nation leader in sacks right now for this defense?
First of all, the pressures, you can live or die by the pressure, right? So, I mean, if you don't get to the quarterback, it's going to cause a big play, possibly. I would say whoever is breaking down the opponent's protection plan is doing a phenomenal job. And, it's when you're breaking down that, when I say that, you're breaking down where the tailback is to where the center is. Are they offset? Where's the slide going? Are you attacking the running back side to send overload 4 to that side? One should be extra. So whoever is doing that is doing
Who is that typically on a defense? The coordinator or somebody else? Or
they kind of do it all together. Usually it's linebackers, coordinators look at it. Actually, you know what? Quality control guys do a phenomenal job. So they're starting on that at the start of the week, or even working a week ahead to
Shout out Ron
see
Collins.
Ron Collins, he's a really good defensive coordinator. So he has an understanding of calling defenses and calling pressures. So that's the benefit of having a really experienced quality control coach. And they're just doing a phenomenal job. D-line wise, if you're to the man slide or the man side of a protection, they're winning the one-on-one. And if you can win the one-on-ones, you're gonna result in some sacks. So they're doing a phenomenal job. And it's going to be interesting to see. This is the week. This is the week of two really elite in this conference, elite pass rushers. We've got Hassanin in ours, and then you got a kid by the name of Trey White. He's the edge for San Diego State. He leads the country in sacks. He has 11 and a half. He has 11 and a half sacks. And not only that, he also has 14 solo tackles for loss this year. So this is the week you're going to see two teams that rely on sacks to get defenses behind. And, you know, San Diego State's second in the conference in sacks with 28. Boise State's leading the country in sacks as a total defense. Trey White's leading the country in sacks with 11 and a half. So this kid's he's on a roll. He's a young kid too. So sacks are going to be an important thing in this game, I think. Is the defense going to start from behind? Or is the offense going to start from behind?
Let's see. So you have 35 sacks. You have 14 and a half from the defensive line, 11 from the linebackers and edge guys, and 9.5 sacks from the defensive backs. I mean, there's teams out there that don't have 9.5 sacks as a team. Boise State's defensive backs have that. They really have switched this year. I mean, they did it some last year, but this year it's more of the dime packages. They have this kind of hybrid defense where they only kind of have one linebacker out there. But, you know, some of these Alexander Tubners, Oladipo, some of these guys are essentially outside linebackers and rushing from the line of scrimmage. Just this kind of design of this defense and the way they're kind of confusing teams. You don't know where the pressure's coming from. And like I said, you know, it's nice, you know, they have Hassanin, they have Jaden Virgin Morgan, both those guys, you know, 4+ sacks, whatever. But, you know, if a team like, okay, Trey White, great. You know, that's the guy you're focusing on. You're going to put your attention on him. But when you have, 13, 14 guys with at least one sack on this defense, they're spreading it around. How much harder does that make it for an offense when it's not just one or two guys you can key on?
Well, you're playing your percentages of, when you're going back and looking at pressures and things like that, is you're finding out, are they going to pressure the backside? So if they're going to pressure the backside, the running back side, okay, I want to just search that. So you jump the back, move the back around, hide your protection schemes, right? So if you jump the back, you always see that, right? Here's your tailback, the running back starts here and then jumps over. Okay, so now you've given the defense a different picture of where the slide's going. Where's the man side to the slide side of the offensive line and the tailback? The other thing that's actually impressive is that nickel position and what they're doing with that position, right? I mean, the sacks are high, he's fit in the run game, and he's in coverage. So they're getting a lot of production out of that side, which now, okay, so this is the other thing is, you can't chip the one guy like Trey White. Let's use that example because you brought it up. You could chip him. You could hit a tight end, hit him in the mouth before a route, stop him, things like that. Well, now you're going to have a tough time with that because with Boise State's defenses, we're worried about the overall scheme rather than eliminating one guy, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how teams in the future design their protections. And things like that. And then everybody, you know, that nickel, if they're bringing field pressure, you don't roll to the boundary a whole lot with a quarterback. That really contains the quarterback in the pocket because it talks you out of rolling the quarterback out because you're going to get hit in the mouth right now by the nickel. And so that's where they're doing a great job schematically fitting all their players in their roles. And it's not like who's going to get the sack. It's who's going to get the sack, when and where, because it could be it from anybody, right? I mean, next thing you know, the corner at Boise State's going to have 2 sacks because they're going to bring a whole different blitz package together.
Sure.
And so those blitz packages you're not going to see the same pressures week in and week out. You just don't. I mean, these coordinators are really good at that. And so now you got to make adjustments, and defenses aren't making adjustments to the blitz packages that Boise State's doing.
Well, shout out Alexander Tubner, 14 tackles, got his first career sack the other night. I know people like to rip on him when he goes in pass coverage occasionally. A lot of time it's not his fault. It's somebody else not coming over the top or whatever else. But that dude is a baller. And I think Alexander Tubner is one of those underrated all-time greats at Boise State. When you just think about the different versatility he can do, the leadership, being the guy that wears the green dot, talking to the coaches and the headset and stuff. So shout out Tubner and this whole defense and what Eric Chenander has going on there. It's been super impressive to see here moving forward. Good show today, BNN. Thank you. Yeah, that might have been the fastest 56-minute show we've ever done, Brad Bedell. Great show. Went fast. A lot of good talk, a lot of good stuff. Appreciate you as always. And we'll get you. We're still working out the timing for Friday with our guests and stuff, but hoping to do some sort of abbreviated pregame show either at the James or maybe we tape it earlier in the day. I don't know yet. I'll talk to you off air. But we're gonna. Friday is gonna be a fun day, full day. I know the weather hopefully will cooperate. We'll get the rain out of here. I'd rather it rain on Halloween tomorrow and have it be nice on Friday. We'll see. But
your kids don't feel that way. Your kids don't feel that way.
They're not the ones bringing multimillionaire boosters and sponsors to town on Friday. So we need to make sure our guys have a great trip here on Friday. So I'll buy my kids all the candy they want if it rains on Thursday. I don't care. Brad, we appreciate it as always. Appreciate you. We'll be in touch again Friday, 3:00. Hopefully we see everybody at the James Kitchen and Bar, hang out with the Circa guys, get some free drinks, have some fun. And we'll dive into a little more. We didn't really talk big picture, playoff, all that kind of stuff. Next Tuesday, the first rankings come out. So we'll have that next Wednesday, by the way, to talk about on our segment here, the first CFP rankings next Wednesday, a week from today. So maybe we'll hit that on the pregame show. But appreciate you as always, Brad. Great stuff. And we'll do it again here in a couple of days on the pregame show.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
There he is, Brad Bedell. Appreciate him. Again, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to you guys. We'll keep you updated throughout the day on the new roof going up on the Raines household, My Signature Roofing. Make sure you check them out. We appreciate them. Again, mysignatureroofing.com. Fun day getting a new roof put up on the Raines house. So appreciate all you guys. Fun show, quick show. Go support the sponsors. Subscribe if you can. And John Mallory and I will be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We're going down to talk to Spencer Danielson. We're talking to who else are we talking to today? Tim Keene, the O-line coach, and then Demario Warren, the cornerbacks coach, all talking to the media today. So we'll get those posted on the BNN YouTube channel here a little later today. So appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, bronconationnews.com.